Welcome back to Blind Boys Politics, everyone. And Chris, I'm not even going to ask you how you're doing because I already know and I'm afraid for the viewers to find out.
I'm doing great, and you want to know why?
Why?
Because I beat you in mini golf.
Yeah, but you still didn't win.
Yeah, I went there.
You still didn't win.
I beat you by 10.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
It was by 8.
No, I had 51. You had 61.
No, you had 53.
I know you're not the greatest in math.
You had 53.
I don't care.
You had 53, I had 61.
I don't care. I still beat you.
Yeah, but Jamar beat me. So.
Can we play the clip where you said you guaranteed would beat me?
Fine, I'll play it.
Now.
I beat you every time.
You know what? We will settle this next weekend.
Or
the weekend after that, or the weekend after that. One of those weekends.
We'll find a time.
And you know what? I bet you $10,000 that I will beat you.
I'm down.
And the editor better not leave this out.
Oh, of course not. No, I'm gonna.
The editor better not change all my wording around where it's saying Nick Rod beat me. Like if you did that to cheat.
I don't have that kind of time. I don't have that kind of time. No, but I mean,
just insert every other word I say. Nick Rod beat me.
No, you did win.
But I beat you.
I'll accept it. I'll accept defeat.
Well, you didn't have much of a choice because everyone knows now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll accept it. Like I even knew before that because you know when I went.
Comes the excuse train.
No, because when I went golfing a week before, a week ago, my putting was garbage then too. So I was gonna be confident, of course, because obviously I'm not gonna.
But the moral of the story is I beat you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you did, of course.
And we should have had a called-in guest. Tell everyone how it was on the final one. I go, shucks almighty to you when you missed.
See, the most angering part was I probably would have tied you if I hadn't done so terrible on the one hole. What was it, the 17th?
No, you did bad on a couple of them.
There was a couple, but the one with the little platform where the hole was, that was the worst.
That was 17?
Yeah. And
then there was another one.
Yeah, there was another one where I did bad. I think that was the one with the rocks.
You and the other person did really bad on that one, and I got it in on 2.
And then Jamar got robbed of a hole-in-one twice.
But his final one, he got a hole-in-one.
Yeah.
See, we should have had both of them call in today, tell you that I beat you, and then give me a cupcake.
See, all I cared about was the fact that he beat you, so I got to keep a
Yeah, but he was not included in on this, so it doesn't matter. He is irrelevant, like I told him.
He's irrelevant. Wow.
Okay, let me rephrase that. He was irrelevant to the competition.
His win doesn't matter. Get out.
You know, I beat you, fair and square, and that's it. And you even kicked your ball closer to the hole.
I never did that.
And no one said anything besides me because I kept you honest.
I never actually did that, though.
Elmer disagrees.
Hold on. I need to let it out.
Elmer disagrees. And I just want everyone to know that I beat Nick. Nick is going to have a ton of excuses, and he's not going to hear me saying this until he's editing. But I just want him to know that Nick is a great person.
I'm going to find out what he was saying when I edit this. But, no, I mean, you won. But I want to challenge you, though. I want to challenge you to a game of actual golf.
Well, you know, that's enough of the back and forth of me beating Nick, and that's the main priority of this whole episode, that I beat Nick. But I guess we should talk about some news at some point.
Yeah, it might be a little helpful, I guess.
If we must.
So technically, that's what we're here for.
I thought we were here to let everyone know that I beat you. That's the only reason I showed up to this meeting.
Yeah, well, meet me on the actual golf course. We'll settle things there.
And I'll beat you even more.
You wish.
Yols be sent into the sand doom. Yols.
Yols.
But Nick, guess what, buddy?
What is it, Chris?
The government shutdown went bye-bye.
Whoa!
Are you happy?
I'm surprised.
Like, yeah, that's the word. Surprised, not happy. Well, happy and surprised.
I mean,
Mostly
I guess surprised. You can throw happy in there. I don't see why not, but...
I'm happy that there's going to be a lot less of a headache.
Yeah.
But there was finally a deal made between the White House and the Democrats making a continuing resolutions. It will be passed. Well, in theory, anyway. It will pass.
Yeah. It's expected to pass.
Yeah. So here's pretty much what happened. If you're wondering why there was no government shutdown and it was kind of looking like there was some government shutdown, our politicians did their job and negotiated.
They actually did what they were elected to do.
And not just say, I want. They negotiated. The Democrats caved and gave the White House tens of billions of dollars for farmers' trade relief payment for the White House. And the White House gave billions of dollars to the Democrats for food assistance through 2021.
It's a miracle. All that's next here is for the Senate to pass this, which, again, they're expected to do. So in theory, this should go through, and it should be signed off by the White House on September 30th if everything goes to plan. Of course, at the time of recording this, and likely by the time this gets released, it will not have been signed just yet.
By the Senate. Now, if it does get signed by the Senate, which it is, like Nick said, it is expected to, it would last through December 11th. And then this whole mess would repeat again December 11th. Or, well, a little bit before December 11th.
Yeah. Well, one would hope it wouldn't start right on December 11th, because that would be a little bad.
Like, it would be mayhem, chaos. Good way to wrap up
Blood
2020.
Would rain. Yeah, no, but it's a miracle.
That's good news for the government shutdown problem. So we won't be talking about that for a little while.
Yeah, you guys will be able to maybe hear some different news. I mean, I'm pretty sure, I'd have to go back, but I'm pretty sure for the past 4 episodes we've talked about the government shutdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Nick, can I make one thing clear?
What's that?
We have some stimulus news, but this is not a new stimulus.
Of course it's not.
Okay. N-O-T, not. Like, not a new stimulus. Like, more. Do you understand? Like, not
nothing
another
new yet.
One?
No, nothing's
This
passed.
is the same one under the same CARES Act, and it's the same rules apply.
Like the one
same
from months
thing.
ago.
Yeah, like that one. Nothing else. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think so. But maybe repeat it one more time.
This is not a new stimulus. So like the one that passed months ago through the CARES Act, it's the same one.
Okay, got it. So they haven't passed a new one.
No.
And
it's not looking so good that they're gonna. But
you're right, though. This isn't a new stimulus at all. This is from the IRS about how to get a hold of your stimulus check if you hadn't already gotten it. Fun times. Now,
the IRS will be sending you a letter. You might be one of the 9 million people that qualify for the first stimulus. Repeat, first, not another one. The first stimulus that you haven't received one yet. So, and they want it to be clear, just because you receive a letter in the mail about it, that doesn't mean you're gonna get it.
Now, beyond that, there's also a deadline. And that deadline is October 15th. So if you are wondering if you qualify for this, don't wait up, because it's not lasting too much longer.
Yeah. So get a move on it. Now, the IRS did give a breakdown, if you're curious what the breakdown is, of how many people in each state are entitled to the first stimulus still, and it comes out to about 9 million people. But if you want to see how many people in your state, you can go to their website, and they have that information there for you.
Now, I mean, if you want to call them, if you have questions and you feel like calling them, I mean, you can.
All the power to you.
Feel free, but you're gonna be waiting on hold forever. You might waste a couple of years. You might as well just watch paint dry. It might be more fascinating and take less time. So just go to their website. If you have questions, go to their website, and they should have the information there. But yeah, no new stimulus, guys. Still nothing there.
Now, side note on that, the recess is happening this week, and like we said, that the recess is going to be a quote-unquote modified recess. There's going to be certain people that stay back to negotiate. I put that in quotations because, quite frankly, they have bigger things to deal with on their plates right now than the stimulus. Unfortunately, they have a lot of other things that they need to, but they're quote-unquote going to be negotiating a new stimulus. So if anything does major come of that, we'll certainly be able to tell you, but don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, I mean, they got this government shutdown problem solved for now, or at least they got a temporary fix on it. But don't expect them
to.
Yeah, well, we hope. In theory, they do. So taking that theory into consideration and in putting in a situation where it is reality, don't put too much hope into that, because I firmly believe it was just pure luck that they managed to negotiate something like that, especially around the time of the election, of course.
Right. And so hopefully that all works out. Hopefully, like I said, I wouldn't hold your breath on another stimulus, but maybe. You never know.
It's possible. We
might. Nick, your favorite subject, TikTok.
Oh boy, there's more TikTok news?
Oh, of course there is.
Oh boy.
TikTok was in court Thursday morning.
Lovely.
TikTok is asking the judge to not have the app removed from all major app stores. Because if you remember last week, we talked about how it was all going to be removed from the major app stores, but there was a deal made in the progress between ByteDance,
the deal was still pending,
and Walmart, and then Trump, quote-unquote, signed off on it. But remember when I said this? Now that the deal with the White House has been, quote-unquote, approved, now it's kind of in the hands of the Chinese government. Yeah, well, that did not go so well.
No. So China decided to do exactly what I thought they'd do. In, I believe it was the last episode I said it. They woke up on the wrong side of the bed and went, screw you.
So they postponed the ban on the app on all major platforms a week. Well, now TikTok's like, not happening. We want it on the app stores because we're working with you, so you need to work with us. Well, the judge told Trump administration that you either need to not have this happen, where it would be taken away on the weekend. He said you need to have your mind made up Friday by 2:30 and either see you in court Sunday morning or don't take it away from the app stores. Well, the Trump administration decided voluntarily they are going to court.
Of course they are.
So, at the time of recording this, they will be in court tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m.
See, this just goes to show how ugly this whole trade war, bad relationship is between the U.S. and China. I mean, like, they're fighting over a damn app.
I've seen a lot of things from on social media from people saying this is really what they have to worry about. Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. I mean, in a trade war, if we really want to trade war with China, if that's what the Trump administration is going for, why are you focusing on TikTok?
Now, the judge has two different angles he can look at this. Either that ByteDance is working with the government and other companies, and they're going to be in theory, bringing in money for the United States. So that's a good thing. They should stay on the App Store, or they might be looking at it from the Trump administration point of view of it's a security threat. We won't know until tomorrow morning at 9:30, and when we find out, we will discuss it Friday morning.
Yep, absolutely.
But there's really not much more to say on that besides TikTok is a train wreck right now.
Everything's a train wreck right now. I mean, again, the government, both here in the U.S. and China, are focusing their efforts on like a trade war situation. They're focusing those efforts on an app. Can I make that any more clear? They are focusing all of their efforts and time on an app.
No, one final.
Why?
They still have until November 12th to get this all figured out before it goes bye-bye. But, things right now seem a tad bit rough.
I mean, November 12th is going to come upon us faster than you might think. And these are the if they're willing to go to court at 9:30 on a Sunday over this, do you really think a deal is going to be struck up, signed off on both ends by November 12th?
Oh, probably not.
I find it very unlikely, and no, this is a train wreck, like you said, Chris.
Big one.
Big one. This is like 5 trains.
It's that's all I can pretty much say because there's
not much you can say. It's ridiculous.
There's so much back and forth going on right now. It's kind of hard to keep up with all of it.
Well, I know. I mean, if you go through the history of this deal, just a quick history lesson on this whole thing. First, it was Microsoft all on its own, trying to buy TikTok. And, all the reports and the news articles were saying, oh, they're either going to buy, the U.S. market or, there were a couple of different options. But the stories pretty much said that Microsoft were confirmed to be, like, verging on a deal. They were converging on a deal with ByteDance. Then, all of a sudden, you have Oracle and Walmart popping in there, throwing their hats in the ring. And then, all of a sudden, it just explodes. Everything explodes. Nothing makes sense anymore. Chinese government's going, nah, pulling a giant screw you on the whole thing.
Well, that pretty much sums it up right there, Nick. So, I mean, Nick will give you an added history lesson, Friday morning when we find out what happened in court.
If my head doesn't explode before then because of all this.
But let's talk about the here and now. Let's talk about what we know now.
Yeah.
What we know now is Trump nominated a new Supreme Court justice.
Yep, that is right. This new judge is Amy Coney Barrett, who was nominated by Trump, on Saturday evening, so the night of recording this, at the Rose Garden. And she had been, her name was under heavy speculation for the position for the past couple of days now. It was pretty much confirmed, but the official announcement, like I just said, was Saturday evening. And she'd only be the 5th woman to sit on the court to be a justice. And
she's currently overseeing cases in Indiana, Illinois, and Wisconsin. And the president did appoint her in 2017. And when he did, there's been a general consensus that everyone likes her. And her point of view is that she's pretty much conservative. She agrees with Trump's aggressive immigration policy, gun rights, and against abortion. So this, brings up issues, Nick, with the numbers on who is on the court with conservatives and.
Yeah, because before RGB died, the court had a 5-4 split in numbers with the conservatives and the majority. And then if Amy does get appointed as an official justice, the numbers will swing even more heavily in the conservatives' favor, of course, in 6-3. And beyond this, she's only 48, so I mean, she could be a justice for the next 30 years or so. Whenever she happens to pass away, because as you probably know, I mean, when you are a Supreme Court justice, that's a life position. We discussed it last time too. It's a life position. So, if she's 48, she could be a justice for quite some time.
So that could lead the direction of our country right there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. No doubt about that. She will have meet and greets with some of the senators this week, and the confirmation process, which we spoke about in Monday's episode, or no, not Mondays, it was Fridays. In Friday's episode, that process will start in early October.
Right, and then it's just the Senate, grills are, we talked about this last week, Senate vote, Senate. They're expecting early October, the whole ball starts rolling, and fun times.
We'll definitely keep all of you updated as far as how that all goes. Of course, that won't be coming up. That won't be for a little while yet once those confirmation hearings do start. So we probably won't have much to report for a couple weeks on that, but just to keep you guys aware that will probably be coming up at some point.
So, while we're waiting for her, the dumb laws will still be coming in.
Oh, absolutely.
Can't forget about those dumb laws.
No.
So, Nick, I'll give you the privilege this week of going first.
Why, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, buddy.
Now, my dumb law for this week comes from the grand land of West Virginia.
West Virginia, Mountain Mama.
Baby home.
West Virginia. Okay, what's the dumb law? You can't sing that song in public.
All right. So the law in West Virginia states that anyone who hunts, catches, takes, kills, injures, or pursues a wild animal or bird with a ferret will face a fine of no less than $100, but no more than $500, and up to 100 days in jail. And that's according to the West Virginia legislation.
100 days seems a little aggressive to me.
So, okay. So, you know how people have hunting dogs?
No.
Okay.
Never heard of that, Nick.
Well, and instead of dogs, apparently in West Virginia, they use ferrets.
Parrots?
Well,
that's fine.
Well, evidently they can't. Apparently that's a law where they can't use ferrets. I don't know
ferrets.
Why. Yeah, ferrets.
I heard parrots.
No, ferrets. Can't use a ferret as a hunting dog.
What about a parrot?
I don't know. Ask West Virginia.
I'll give them a call tomorrow.
I don't understand
100
this.
days seems a little aggressive. Why you would use a ferret or a parrot is beyond me.
100 days in jail for using a ferret as a hunting animal.
What are you in for? Oh, I used a ferret. I couldn't afford the dog. Well, Nick,
I know people from West Virginia, so and it honestly wouldn't surprise me. I'm sorry, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Well, Nick, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news.
No.
I got 2 bad news for you. 2, you can't bring your ferret to West Virginia with you next week like you planned on it. 2, my dumb law is dumber than yours.
Oh, no.
First of all, that's sad. That's where we're at. My law is dumber than yours, so ha. My dumb law is in Maine. It is illegal to post advertisement. It is illegal to post advertisements in a cemetery. Now, That's like, first of all, that's actually a very intelligent idea to put advertisements in a cemetery.
How is that intelligent? Do you honestly someone's gonna be like mourning over their like passed away loved one, and then look over and be like, Dunkin' Donuts is having a 2-for-1 sale, but it's ending in like 20 minutes. We gotta leave now.
No, you're not thinking realistically. Everyone dies eventually, unfortunately. But your family, a lot of people go and visit these family members, might plant flowers or, things around their grave. You're pulling out and you see an advertisement for driveway sealing for 25% off.
I don't honestly see how
now
this
that
is a good
catches all
idea.
the population. Now, what I don't see what happening is my grandma died. Ooh, you know what? Take down the number for that driveway sealer. We need our driveway sealed.
Or maybe the ads are for the dead people. They ever think of that?
Maybe it's ads for a funeral home. Oh, you would be a little late for that one, but...
Oh, God.
Nonetheless, that's my dumb law. I see the business savvy in it, but apparently it's illegal. So I guess,
Understandably.
So, Nick, just remind me of that if I ever want to post things in a cemetery.
See, the dumb part about this law is that they actually had to make it a law.
But, honestly, I understand why people would do it.
I don't. How much business are you actually going to gain by advertising in a cemetery?
Nick, you're telling me you've never been to a cemetery to visit someone that you lost 3 years ago?
Honestly, no.
You know no one that's ever just drove by, it might be someone that was close to you, you dropped off flowers.
I know people do it.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so, for example, my great-grandmother, when we're ever out at Brockport, we always drop off her favorite kind of flowers right next to her.
Sure.
Her gravestone, and then next to her husband, we put a beer cans there. But you're pulling out, oh my God, this restaurant has homemade pumpkin pie. Grandma would love us to stop and have some pumpkin pie.
I just don't see it being effective at all. But, if we live in Maine...
That's how I thought about it at first. That's why I said this to me. But kudos to ever put advertisement in a cemetery, because you literally will attract everyone, because everyone goes to cemeteries.
But who's going to pay attention to the advertising when they're at a cemetery?
You're pulling out. There's a big billboard right there. I'm not talking when you first bury your person, because, people probably smash it. But if you're going to see grandma after 3 years, you might, you're going to pay attention to scenery.
I still have, moral issues with this one. And I'm, you know what? I'm moving to Maine.
Fine. Whatever. Just tell me some good news. Because I will say this. At first I thought it was dumb, but now I kind of see why someone tried this.
I don't. I really don't.
No, screw you.
Okay.
Now give me some good news.
Hey guys, just a quick interruption here before you get into this week's good news story. I just wanted to pop in and let you guys know that just like with Friday's good news story, this one also includes the mention of suicide. So if that's something that you don't want to listen to, you can always skip it and just skip the end of the episode, considering that news story is pretty much at the end. However, just like with the other story, this one does have a good ending, and the topic of suicide isn't the prevalent topic here. So if you want to listen and take something out of it, we're always happy to have you listen to the good news story. We love it, and we hope you guys love it too. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, Chris. So this week, or during this episode, rather, we kind of visit a similar situation to the good news story we talked about on Friday. Now, this time around, there was a man who was going to jump off of this bridge. Now, these truckers saw what was going on, and they saw him up there, and they stopped. There were 13 truckers there. And they positioned their trucks in a way so that if he were to jump off the bridge, he would just end up landing on one of their trucks, and that wouldn't be a far enough fall for him to sustain any injuries. So, even if he were to jump, he'd be completely fine. And by the end of the whole ordeal, the officers were able to get him down off the bridge, and the officers were actually calling the truckers the angels of the highway because of this act.
These truckers are really showing up,
Yeah, I mean, it's like we said on Friday. These truckers very well could have just kept going. They have deadlines. They have things that they have to do. They have places they have to be at a certain time, or they're screwed. But these people, these truckers, in both these situations, have put all of that aside. And not just a couple of them. In this situation, there were 13. In Friday's story, there was enough to block off an entire throughway on both sides. And, these truckers are just really pulling through, setting everything aside to help these people, to help them live, to show them that, they're not going to let them die.
Yeah. Complete strangers care about other people, and it does show our country coming together, and all the truckers, every single person, even if they played a small part into it.
I mean, we need things like this because it's just completely ordinary people doing their daily job, stopping in the middle of that job to help save someone's life. We need more of that right now because, Chris, you and I were talking before this episode, and we were discussing how right now it seems like everyone's on edge. It seems like everyone is kind of just frustrated. Everyone's, low on patience. And, we're at a point where we need stories like this. We need situations like this of people actually coming together, people actually helping one another, people saving one another. Because it's one act, but it can trigger so much.
It plays a big impact.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, that is the end of this week's Monday show. But don't you worry. Wednesday, we have our failed election with presidential candidate Michael Bloomberg. Things are flying. And then Friday morning, we have our regular news story, including Conan O'Brien is surfacing in the news. What the heck is going on with TikTok? And any other news that resurfaces between now and Friday morning.
Yeah, so you'll definitely see a lot more of us this week. I definitely enjoy this new rhythm that we're settling into. I don't know about you, Chris, but I'm liking this.
Yeah, we'll go with that. No, I am. Just right now, things are not the smoothest on my end. We're having some technical difficulties, and that is, speaking of patience, is running my patience very thin, and I will be the first to admit that.
Well, at least we're right at the end of this episode, so we'll close out here so you don't have to worry about these technical difficulties any longer.
Just save it for another day.
Yeah, right.
But, this is the wrong spot to have a tangent since we're at the end of an episode. But really, everyone is on nerve. Everyone is getting impatient or getting fed up. And you know what? I understand.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I totally get it. Because I'm guilty of it sometimes, too. I'll admit that for sure. But, gotta figure it out somehow, or else we're gonna murder each other.
Absolutely, and I hope you guys don't get impatient waiting for us Friday morning. And Wednesday morning, those 2 days are out of order, but it is what it is. Until then, see you later. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Links are in the show notes. Peace out. Goodbye.
Yep. See you later, guys.